In this video clip I'm going to be going through question number 22 on this exam paper. It's an exam paper from 2011 for GCSE Higher Mathematics. So I'll go through this question 22, explaining how to do the question and how the marks are awarded. If you'd like your own copy of this maths paper, along with paper 4 and the DVDs that go through all the questions in detail, including the marks awarded, then if you go to either mathstutor.biz or mathsdvds.co.uk and you can get full details. GCSE Higher from 2011, question 22 from paper 3. Find the value of 81 raised to the power of negative 3 over 2. So let's do this step by step. Let's first off consider what the negative's doing. The negative is a reciprocal, or to put it another way, 81 to the minus 3 over 2 is the same as 1 over 81 to the 3 over 2. Now let's look at the 3 over 2. You should know that anything raised to the power half means find the square root of, and anything raised to the power 3 means cube it. So raised to the power 3 over 2 means cube it and square root it, or square root it and cube it. You can do it in any order, but being it's a non-calculator paper, I think finding the square root of 81 is easier than cubing the 81. So let's find the square root of 81, and that's 9. And then we'll need to find the cube of 89. Sorry, the cube of 9. Square root the 81 gives me 9. Now cube the 9. So 9 nines are 81, then I need 81 times 9. Once 9 is 9, 8 9 is 72. So the answer is 1 over 7 to 9. Now when I found the square root, it could have been a plus or minus answer. But in this particular question, the examiner's not going to be fussed about that. But if you like, then you could have put plus or minus there, and when you cube it, you'd still have a plus or minus. But I'd leave it like that. How many marks is there? There's 2 marks. So get it right, get the 2 marks. Don't get it right, you could get a mark 4. For appreciate that the minus means reciprocate, or that. If you wrote that down, maybe it'd be worth a mark, but 2 marks if you get it completely right. This one, rewrite this in this form. Now, this is a particular type of question where you need to recognise the method needed, and I don't know how else to explain this. You need to jump into it and appreciate that if you multiply the top and the bottom by the same thing, it will change the appearance of this weird looking fraction, but it will still be the same fraction. And what in fact we do is multiply the bottom by root 3, because root 3 times root 3 is 3, so we'll multiply the top by root 3, and we'll get another fraction which is the same fraction but looks not quite so horrible. Root 3 times root 3 is 3. So I've got to multiply both of these terms by root 3. So root 3 times 15 is 15 root 3, or root 3 times 15. We usually put the 15 in front. And then you've got root 12 times root 3. Root 12 times root 3. And you should know that that's exactly the same as the root of 36. Root 12 times root 3 is the same as root 36. Now whether you write root 36 there or 6, that's up to you, but I certainly would include that. If the examiner can see something like that in your margin, then it's called showing you're working out. Now if you look at these 2 terms, they've got a common factor of 3, so you can take 3 out, and that will give you 5 root 3 minus 2. You need to be very careful cancelling fractions. If you cancelled at that stage, there's a possibility you'll go wrong. The temptation is to cancel the 3 and the 6, or the 3 and the 15, whereas it needs to be cancelled by both. But if you do it like this by factorisation and then cancel it, you are less likely to go wrong. So I've manipulated this, and I'm trying to make it look like that. It doesn't quite, but if I put the -2 first, and then the plus 5√3, it looks exactly as the examiner asked me to do it. This is a very particular type of question that you either know that sort of manipulation or you don't. I don't know how else to describe that. It's actually worth 3 marks, which is, I think, quite good, because it is something that's a little bit strange, a little bit difficult. If you don't get it perfectly correct, like that, you could get 1 or 2 marks depending on what you've written down. 1 mark you could even get for something like that in the margin. The examiner will look for things like that. The examiner will look at your working out. If you get it wrong, he will look, or she will look, for your working out to see if they can give you a possible 1 or 2 marks.